Hi, welcome to Garage Geek Friday Night Chats. I was on the fence whether I was going to film this today because I have very little, like a small list. And I went shopping after work. I'm going to tell you why. And usually when I do that, I come home tired. And so I hope my energy doesn't seem like I'm lagging in this video, but I'm going to give it my all, and hopefully you're going to love this video. So I want to make an announcement that tomorrow, Jeff's Cool Cave, wrong, Jeff's Cave of Cool Books and Larry's Library are going to do a live stream together. It's in the afternoon on Saturday. So if you can, support them and watch the live stream. It's on Jeff's channel, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I think it's on Jeff's channel, but it could be on Larry's Library. Anyways, I think that's the only announcement I have. I did a couple of live streams this week where I was the guest on Gary B's channel, so the casual comic guy, and he was on with Dope, and the very last second I was in the comments, and he was like, "Why don't you join?" And I was like, "Okay," and so I jumped in, and then he was interviewing Dan's Comics. And I asked if I could jump in and co-host that one too. And I had a lot of fun on both streams. So, I mean, go ahead and check those out if you have the time. Dope was doing the Hulk comics. And if you know Dope, I mean, his Hulk collection is just, insane. He has like every issue, slabbed, and I mean, they're gorgeous. And he's very particular about the comics he gets. He wants the colors to be vibrant, which I would be that way as well. And then Dan was doing The Thing, and it's fun to go down memory lane of The Thing, because The Thing was actually one of my favorite characters as a kid. I think that was true for a lot of people because the comics written for him, I think, were just so good. Okay, so I'm kind of doing this in time order. So I'm going to go all the way back to, I think, either Friday, like as soon as I was done with my chat, I was going to go, I was texting with my friend, and she was talking about a movie that's on Netflix, and then they're comparing it to older ones. And one of the movies, and they're, post-apocalyptic movies, and, about nuclear fallout. And she was talking about the movie Threads from 1984. And it's available on YouTube. And so I went ahead and she watched it, and I felt like watching it too. And I'm really glad I did, because it's a very, low budget made for TV movie. This is a famous scene from it. But for what they did, it's a harrowing movie. And for what they did on the budget, it was like, I couldn't believe it. It's so well worth watching, just because the way that they filmed it felt like a documentary. And what they did with the budget is quite crazy, and it's a very bleak story. But as a made-for-TV movie, it's really impressive what they were able to do. So I thoroughly enjoyed Threads from 1984. So I want to thank my friend Judy for getting me to watch that. And then I think it was Saturday, my daughter wanted to see the movie Black Phone 2. Her husband doesn't like horror movies, and we both like Black Phone, which starred Ethan Hawke. So we went to the movie theater, and the movie theater experience, I don't go to the movies that often. And we went to this movie theater where they had reclining chairs, and you press a button and somebody comes, and they had a full menu, and they take your order. They have a restaurant within the movie theater complex, and I mean burgers, like pizza. It's crazy. So anyways, we went to see Black Phone 2, and I enjoyed it. For a sequel, it was very, very different from the first, but keeping the flair of the first. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Have you seen? I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's a serial killer, but this one has a different dimension than the first, and I quite enjoyed it. It had like a kind of Freddy Krueger dimension added to it. So I was really thankful to go out to the movie theaters because I don't do that very often anymore. The last movie I saw was Superman, and that's because my daughter got free tickets, so I was able to go. And so I actually really enjoyed going out to the movies. Maybe I'm gonna have to do it more often. Although she paid for the ticket, so I might not think the same if I had bought the ticket. So then the next is a couple of excuse me, books. So I think this is the third. I read the third in this Dean R. Koontz series, Brother Odd, and this is about a man who can see the dead, and he gets involved in mysteries. And in the last book, a tragedy happens, so he goes to a monastery, and so this book takes place in a monastery, and it to me, it was the same as the other ones. I don't know why I'm not really warming up to this series. I don't like it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm not loving it. But I don't. But I'm enjoying it. So for me, I'm just kind of lukewarm. And now that I'm in the middle of it, I'm just going to keep going and listen to the rest of them. So I know that's not a glowing review. But the next book was recommended by Up and Adam. Now, we were on the Cowboy Show. He was talking about the Dark Tower, and I had mentioned, I started the Dark Tower, the first one, and I didn't really like it. And he's like, you know what? Everyone says the same. You just got to get through it. And so I did that. I forced myself through it, and there were some really, really great parts. But then the second book is called The Drawing of the Three, and wow, was it good! It was so good. So I promise you, if you just get through the first one, you're really, really gonna enjoy The Drawing of the Three. I mean, it's Stephen King at his prime, what he does. And I mean, the opening scene, if you remember, I was talking about the men's magazines that had I bought the hardcover book. In fact, it's right there, but I don't want to reach over there. About animal attacks, and a couple of the stories had crab attacks. Well, the beginning of this has one of those scenes, and it's kind of a little bit throughout the book. They're on this beach on like in a dimension that we're not exactly sure what dimension it is, but he's on a beach, and there are these giant crabs, and they commence to attack, and it's pretty brutal. And then they go through these doors, and these doors let the person on this side go right into the head of the person that they're seeing. It's kind of as you walk in as you open the door, you enter someone's consciousness, and you like share their perceptions. And that was really, really neat. And it kept the story going. I really liked this book. It was a lot of fun. And so I'm absolutely waiting to get the third one. All of these books are on hold though, so every time I get one, I have to wait. So that I'm highly recommending The Drawing of the Three. Next, I watched another Robert Emmons Jr. Documentary, because I'm going to be talking with him about his movies. So the first one I watched was Sickies Making Films, and then this the one that I watched I just finished was called Diagram for Delinquents, and this one was about censorship in the movies, and this one, Diagram for Delinquents, was about Werther, I think his name is, and the comics being censored in the 50s, and for their content. And then there was the book that was put out, Seduction of the Innocent, and that both of these documentaries are great, and so I can't wait. I'm gonna watch them again. I'm gonna kind of break them down and go through, make sure I get the salient points and talk with him about it. Hopefully I'll have some clips to show. And I think it's going to be a really interesting live stream because, if you've ever seen Robert videos, like the actual videos he puts out on YouTube. They're so much fun and they're very cinematic. He puts me to shame. I say that every time. Um, but he denies it, but it's just not true. I mean, he's like a real filmmaker who is making YouTube videos, and his videos are great. But anyways, diagram for delinquents. So the next thing was Power Sat. I actually just finished this today. So Power Sat was my first Ben Bova novel. And I'm not sure if it's the first in a series. I think it is, but it's the first, and it's very political, and there's intrigue, there's murder, there's espionage, lots of politics, and that might not sound interesting, but it really was. It was a very like an Elon Musk type guy, like before he was like, when Elon Musk first came on the scene, he was like a Bill Gates type figure, I think. I mean, to me, he was. I mean, later, he's got a lot of eccentricities. But imagine an Elon Musk type inventor, who is the main character. I have my throat. It's getting like this after every week of school. Who's inventing this satellite that can use solar energy and bring it to Earth, and through microwaves, and it's quite complex. But if he were to able to get these satellites working, then it would stop the dependence on oil. And there are, of course, people in the oil conglomerate that do not want this to happen. And so there's a lot of espionage and everything going on. And then, they go up in space because they got to get to the space. There's like a space station up there. And it's really a lot of fun. There's a lot of kind of romance. There's with politics, there's a woman who, is with a possible future president, but really is in love with this guy. And I mean, that kind of stuff happens. But otherwise, it's a really, really fun book. So I'm going to say I really enjoyed Ben Bova's Power Sat, and I look forward to the second in this series. And since this is my first Ben Bova book, if any of you out there have read other Ben Bova that you can recommend, please let me know. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is a little bit sensitive. So when I come home and I eat, my husband's always playing things, and I eat on the, in the kitchen, while we're eating and, talking and whatever. And I usually don't talk about the things, like he watches a lot of Korean drama. He, of course, a lot of Mexican telenovelas, all that kind of stuff. But this week he was watching, I think, a 4-part series about Juan Gabriel. And if you don't know Juan Gabriel, he's a very famous Mexican singer. And he was very obviously gay. And I mean, whatever, so he was gay. I mean, all of his fans knew it. I mean, like, there was no denying that he was gay. I mean, the way he moved, the way he danced, he kind of flitted around. He was very, let's just say, I shouldn't do that. He kind of flitted around. He was very flamboyant, okay? And so later in his life, there was someone interviewing him, and the scene of this, like, really saddened me, and it really got me to thinking, because Juan Gabriel is probably like, a generation older than I am. And the interviewer was, he asked him straight blank, it's like, oh, there's lots of rumors that you're gay. And he's saying this in Spanish. And then, and he's like, is that true? And, first Juan Gabriel's like, he doesn't want to answer this question. It's obvious. And right there, you could tell he's very uncomfortable. And he says, well, why are you so interested in this? Like, what's the point? And so then the interviewer comes, back around and, blah, blah, blah. I forget what he says. But then he's like, I forgot my train of thought. So he was like, I totally forgot my train of thought. Um, oh, he says, so he asks him again, and then Juan Gabriel responds in a very poignant way. He's like, why do you need to press this issue when, it's so obvious what is right in front of you? And I just thought that was an amazing response. But again, it deflected the issue, right? Everybody knew he was gay, but he just couldn't say it. He just couldn't admit it. And to me, it was just really, really sad. He had a family. He had, I'm not sure if it was his wife. He had children. I think they were adopted. But he had a very a family life, but he also he could never be with the person or people that he wanted to be with in his life. And I mean, it's so shocking because I remember when I was young, it was the same. It was this big fear of not being able to say who you are. And I'm just so glad that I was born just a little bit later than he was, because he just couldn't say it, even though everybody knew it. And it just really made me sad to watch that because of what so many people had to go through. Anyways, Juan Gabriel. Next, I did read some comic books this week. So I read another issue. I got this thin volume and I just didn't get through it. So I am reading The Immortal Thor. And I read the second issue and I enjoyed it. In the beginning, and he is fighting this. This was from the last issue. He's fighting all these beings that are similar to the Asgardian gods, but they're called the Ut something, and they just seem to be more powerful. And I mean, this is just a great image. The Utgard Thor, and in this issue, he fights him again. This is the cover of it. Alex Ross, and again. They start with the story of Odin and what he sacrificed, and because this all deals with Thor, because Thor now has Odin's power, and when he uses the Odin power, it's very powerful, but it puts him into the Odin sleep, and so he actually has to sleep after he is able to vanquish this foe to another realm, but he will be able to get back. But he falls into a deep sleep, and he meets Loki, and Loki asks him a series of 3 questions, and then that sets them off on this, a fight or a challenge or whatnot. And actually, I think I read the next one. Yeah, he wakes up in this other realm. Here's the cover of this. I mean, that's a great cover too. So he wakes up in this realm and he's got to deal with all of Loki's shenanigans. And I didn't get to the part to find out what it all meant. He's just battling Loki. Okay, so I'm continuing to enjoy this. But I'm going to bring this back up in a little bit. And then I'm in the 3rd volume of Transmetropolitan. And so I decided I needed to pick this up again. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I'm almost about halfway through the 3rd volume. There's 5. And there was this series. It's very political, right? And this guy his name is Spider Jerusalem. He's a journalist, and he does whatever he can to get a story. And in this series of 3 comics, they kind of play on that, and they use him, and they get him trapped. He reports on a story, and it ends up getting a lot of people killed, and he was set up to do that. And so he's dealing with the ramifications of being used, and being used in a way that gets a lot of people killed. And he was actually there and trapped. He was also supposed to be killed with all these other people that he kind of set up. And he was able to get out, but he was actually dealing with the emotions of that, which is kind of interesting because this guy is written in such a way that he's a bastard and doesn't care, and he doesn't have a lot of emotions, although he has had some emotional arc. He had one assistant die because of, I think because of what he had done. But again, even though this is very rough and very raw, they Warren Ellis also brings some humanity to this character, which kind of keeps him interesting, because otherwise he's just a scumbag. So I'm actually kind of still enjoying this. It's fine. I have two more things to talk about. So I'm going to talk about the positive one first. So the reason I went to Target after school today is because there was a seller who had the first 30 of the Hardy Boys, and they're in these boxes. I'll show you one. I haven't taken them all out yet because they're kind of dusty, and I need to dust them off. But they came in these groups of 10 in these boxes, kind of nice. And he wanted $60, and I didn't ask for less because I thought 60 was a great price. I probably could have gotten it for 50, but I thought for $2 a book, I'm just going to pay it. So I was able to get the first 30 books, and I mean, I do need to clean them off. They're kind of dusty, but I mean, look at these. These books are so awesome. Look at these covers. I mean, look at this. There's some creeper coming out to get the Hardy Boys. They're all trussed up. And look at this one. Look at this stalker. What fun. I just love the art on these things. And so now I think there's like 55 of them. So I've got over half. And now I need to keep working on getting the Nancy Drew books. And then I would like to get these books in the original versions. They're harder to find in good condition, but they have different art on the covers, and those art covers are also really, really nice. So I thought for $60 this was worth it. But you can let me know. Am I just being stupid? I'm buying more stuff that I don't need. And then the last thing that I want to talk to you about. Wow, I'm only at 22 minutes. Which is good because my voice is raw. Again, I was dumb. I ordered something from In Stock Trades, and I thought I would give them another chance. So I ordered, I think like 6 books. And, they sent me a letter, and here's the letter. Oh, I got a couple other things to show. After this, I'm going to. So they sent me this letter, and they're like, hey, basically, this is the same letter they sent me last time. Our policy has changed. So we're basically going to charge you for whatever we have. And then we put what we don't have on an unavailable list. And if it comes in within 30 days, we'll send it to you, and then we'll charge you. We don't charge you for the whole order. So they did charge me for the books that they're going to send me. But now I have to wait 30 days to see if this stuff is going to be showing up. And what it is they sent me, I ordered Batman and Robin's volume 1 and volume 2 because I read the new All In, but it was actually number 14. And so I wanted to read the stuff running up to it. So they said, well, we sent you volume 2, but we don't have volume 1. But you really can't go ahead and order volume 1 because you got to wait 30 days now to see if we have it in stock. And then if we don't, then we will cancel it. And, so it's just like they kind of put you in a little limbo. In Stock Trades never, ever used to put things up that they didn't have in stock. And, I mean, it's called In Stock Trades. And so all of a sudden they have so much stuff on their website that they actually don't have in stock. And so you're taking a big gamble when you order for them. And it's really sad because it used to be a company that I loved. And you just can't trust them anymore. You're taking it's not a gamble. I mean, you will get some of your order most likely, and the prices are really good. But then there's going to be other parts of your order that you can't, and you won't be able to order them from anyone else, and so you're just kind of stuck. I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed in the company. Now, I was Oh, I also was reading Hate, and I think I got, I don't know, like about 50 pages in, and it's actually really good. But I got this panel from it. I'm going to read it to you. It says, George is a bit strange. It's his roommate. He just sits in his room and writes and draws and reads science fiction all day. And I started laughing because that sounds like probably most of the YouTubers in BookTube. They're gonna be offended now, and they're all gonna leave me. Hey, I'm not making fun of you because I'm a geek. That I do that too. But I just thought that panel summed it up. It was hilarious. And then I saw this, and I saw this and I burst out laughing. The crossover nobody wants, Hooker. I don't know, like people on Facebook or whatever, they don't have anything else to do. Like that picture is hilarious. Oh, Hooker, the crossover nobody wants. Oh God, I actually want to see that one. And then last week I was talking about Space 1999, and I forgot to show this clip because it's hilarious. This Moonbase Alpha has like a tanning salon, and they just do it to show off girls' bodies. It's pretty gratuitous. It's hilarious. Let's watch it. I'm like, what are they doing? Look at this. Oh, it's called a solarium. It's just all these women walking around in their bikinis. Like, what is the point of this? Oh my God, there's a whatchamacallit ambulance going. Oh, where's the sound? Oh, I don't have the sound. You want to hear the sound? Oh, there isn't any. You would think there'd be some sound going on in the background. No, there's no sound. Like, that's weird. Okay, sorry to make you watch that over and over again. But that's the second time they've shown the solarium in the episodes, and I'm just cracking up every time. I'm like, I know why it's there. It's it's for the male audience, but it's just so silly. So, anyways, if that's your sort of thing, maybe watch Space 1999. You can see women in bikinis every few episodes. All right, I think I'm done. I need to give my voice a rest. This one wasn't too long, so maybe that's a good thing. I know some of you do like it when I don't go on as long. I've been doing this puzzle off and on this week, and it's really, really difficult. I'm about halfway done, but right now I'm in the reds and the blacks, and that's the hardest part of the puzzle. Like, I've done all of this, and I'm starting to do the hair. I've got a lot now, but then doing this is it's really difficult. So wish me luck. I want to thank everyone for the support. I hope you all have a great weekend.